The case of Potts v. Farley involved the wrongful death of a pedestrian mail carrier. The defendant driver in this case had an eye condition called macular degeneration. This condition causes vision distortion. The defendant himself, in a medical record seen here on the right, drew in the areas of his vision that were blocked due to this condition. The victim in this case was delivering mail across 22nd Street South in downtown Birmingham, Alabama. As you can see here, there are two yellow areas that have been filled out across the roadway of the accident site, which would demonstrate what can be called an unmarked crosswalk. Under Alabama law, a crosswalk includes an unmarked section of roadway that can be implied from the absence of curbs as an extension of an existing sidewalk across a roadway. An accident reconstruction was performed by Covenant Investigative Services to determine whether the victim was walking within this crosswalk during the time of the accident. There were several pieces of evidence that helped to establish this. First, the location of the victim's shoe. Second, the final rest of the striking vehicle. Third, the final rest of the victim himself. And fourth, the alleged location of the crosswalk itself. Additionally, an eyewitness to the crash testified that the victim was walking eastbound directly across the street. The testimony of the defendant driver was that he turned right onto the one-way road, changed to the left lane, and then suddenly struck the victim. The defense also argued that the defendant driver was blinded by sunlight, and thus his lack of pre-impact braking was explained by the sun and not his eyesight. Second, the victim was contributory negligent by crossing at an angle with his back to oncoming traffic. Third, the defense argued that the defendant driver was only traveling 30 miles per hour. In response, the plaintiff discovered through an online weather archive search that while the defendant was traveling southeast, the sun was setting in the west at the time of the accident at 2 p.m. Second, the defense argued that the victim crossed the road not within the implied crosswalk, but at an angle with his back to oncoming traffic. The defense also claimed that the defendant driver was only traveling 30 miles per hour at the time of impact, something they attempted to support using the braking distance of the defense vehicle. The defense theory used the final rest position of the striking vehicle and the claimed 30 mile per hour speed to calculate a braking distance that placed the point of impact within their theorized diagonal crossing route. The combination of claims made in the defense's case ended up proving the plaintiff's case. First, the defendant admitted that he did not brake until after impact. Second, the defense expert agreed that the perception and reaction time of an 82-year-old is approximately 1.5 seconds. The result of this reaction time admission is that an additional 66 feet are added to the defendant's reconstruction. Thus, instead of the original point of impact claimed by the defense, the new calculation places the victim within the unmarked crosswalk at the time of impact.